Hello there guys, my name is Tom of MC Radio, and today is a good day. You know why it's a good day? Because we get to play Magic the Gathering, and not only just Magic the Gathering, we get to play the best multiplayer format ever, that format being EDH, or Commander. We are going to mulligan this hand. You may notice we got a, Sorry. So we even get a worse hand after the first mulligan, and that is 100% fine. We'll just go down to 6. That is the nice thing about these type of decks, is that you do get a little bit of leeway. That being said, this hand would obviously be awesome if it had lands in it. That being said, every single hand with 7 cards in it better be awesome if they're all non-lands. Because if they're not, there's something wrong with your deck. We'll mulligan to 6. And this is a perfect hand. No mulligans on this one. Let's talk about the general in the deck we'll be playing. We're playing Mirko Vosk, the Mind Drinker. Now, Mirko Vosk, the Mind Drinker, I like to call this the Mirko Vosk and his Shadowy Minions deck. I actually feel it's very representative of Dimir. I'm pressing F8. Come on, F8. There you go. So Mirko Vosk himself, 3 blue black for a flying 2/4 legendary vampire. Whenever Mirko Vosk deals combat damage to a player, that player reveals cards from the top of his or her library until they reveal 4 land cards, and put those cards into his or her graveyard. Now with Mirko Vosk, there's a lot of different ways you can go with him. One, you can make actually a pretty decent blue-black vampire deck. It's going to miss a lot of the pumping abilities from Innistrad and Dark Ascension, but overall, it's an okay deck. Or you could go Dimir Mill, which is decent, but considering everybody has 91 cards at the start of the game, not the best. Not the best in the world. It's pretty hard to mill everybody out of 91 cards. Pretty easy when they start at 42, but 91 for a multiplayer game, really difficult. So instead of going either of those routes, we decided to attack from the shadows like all Dimir agents would do. And by attacking from the shadows, I mean attacking with Shadow. So Shadow is this awesome ability that came out around Tempest. This is an awesome ability. Basically, Shadow reads that creatures with Shadow can only block and be blocked by other creatures with Shadow. It's very representative. It's really similar to Horsemanship. The flavor behind it is that these creatures are from the Shadow Realm, and as such can only be blocked by other creatures in the Shadow Realm. Good news, they still deal damage. Very good news for us. So I have highlighted here Thalkos Deceiver, 3 and a blue for a shadowy 1/1. And whenever it attacks isn't blocked, I can sacrifice it. If I do, I can control target creature. Now this deck is going to utilize another one of the greatest mechanics from Dragon's Maze, really from Gatecrash, or just from Return to Ravnica Block in general, that being Cipher. Now Cipher lets us exile a spell and encode it onto a creature to cast it again when that creature deals combat damage. Can't wait to use it, and can't wait to show off this awesome, awesome, awesome deck. Speaking of awesome decks, the decks we're playing against have already started doing some pretty cool things. Let's start with the Sapling and Colfenor deck. So these are the guys to our top left. Sapling herself, 3 black-green for a 2/4 indestructible Treefolk Shaman. And whenever it attacks, you reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you gain life equal to that card's toughness, and you lose life equal to its power. Then put it into your hand. Sapling and Colfenor are actually a very powerful spell. EDH card, a very powerful general. There's a lot of different ways to build Sapling or Colfenor. I've actually seen some pretty cool green-black Voltron decks using Sapling. Voltron deck being a deck that places a lot of auras or enchantment, a lot of auras or equipments onto a single creature in order to buff them up to be so that you can't really take it on anymore. Kind of like the classic Voltrons. All the little lions would stack up into this big robotic creature and destroy the invading aliens. Anyways, so you could go that way, or you could go black-green Treefolk, both actually being very good, very decent decks. I kind of like the black-green Treefolk deck a little bit more. You do miss out on some of the white Treefolk, stuff like Doran, you don't get to actually have use of, but the deck can be very fun. Cards to watch out for from this deck, Leaf Crown Shaman, actually, Leaf Crown Elder, sorry, is very good in this deck. It has a kinship ability where you can put Treefolks or Shamans from the top of your library into play, which free cards are free cards, and free cards are really good. Also, it hits off Sapling's ability to gain life. Besides that, usually this is just a green-black junk deck, sadly. Expect cards like Lord of Extinction, expect cards like Durad, Golgari, Lichlord. I'm excited to see which route this player went. We do have an early Sylvan library. I wanted a green, amazing enchantment actually has this really cool promo art. Beginning of your draw step, you can draw 2 additional cards. If you do, you choose 2 cards in your hand drawn this turn. For each of those cards, you can pay for or put that card on the top of your library. Real men always take 8, is how I was explained to me, but that's a lie, because real men don't like killing themselves. Speaking of real men, we got a real woman here. 2 green white for a legendary human soldier. It's Captain Sisay. She's a 2/2 from Invasion Block, and you can search your library for a legendary card, reveal that card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Captain Sisay is an amazing deck for the simple reason that it says legendary card, which reads legendary permanent. This makes this deck just screamingly good. Just really, really, really good. Speaking of good, we're going to hit it for 1 damage then. With our good Johnny Finkel, so Shadow Mage Infiltrator. 1 blue-black for a fear, 1/3. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, we get to draw a card. Now, I don't know if you run in the same magic circles as I do, but drawing cards, just filled with value. We will always yes and always yield. Alright, we draw a land here. That's perfectly fine. We're actually going to lay down Falco's Deceiver this turn. The reason why is, if I can steal Captain Sisay, life's going good for me. So we're going to lay down the Falco's Deceiver and pass. Now, the only downfall of this deck is that you can't block. Just unable to block. Shadow creatures, although they are themselves unblockable, they can't block non-shadow creatures, which can be a problem at times. There's a lot of times when you would love to block, and all you have a bunch of 2/1s and 1/1s that are perfect for chumping huge 5/5s. You're like, oh, they don't have shadow, you can't block. Mwah, mwah. You take a lot of damage. But this deck, I also think it's very evocative to Mir because it's really not targeted ever. It just kind of does really annoying things, and it's never really the big threat. It just kind of sits on the side. It's part of the third player mentality, which we can go over as we get farther into the game. So things to watch out for Captain Sisay. The more evil of the Captain Sisay decks can find legendary permanents like Mindslaver, which is a legendary artifact. There's actually a Mindslaver lock in Captain Sisay decks if they go after it. If your opponent with Captain Sisay tutors up Mindslaver, you know to immediately kill them, because if you don't, they will lock you out of the game. That being said, Mindslaver lock, not that good in a 4-player game. It just usually causes you to die very quickly. So definitely watch out for Mindslavers. There are some cool things Captain Sisay can do as well. Since it can search for legendary permanents, you can find stuff like the Skyship Weatherlight. You can find stuff like the legendary lands from Kamigawa, so Captain Sisay all of a sudden can search up lands. You can find Eldrazi. You can find pretty much anything your heart desires, which is actually what makes Captain Sisay such a strong deck, is the fact that you can find whatever you need for any situation. He's an amazing toolbox general. Also, watch out for Gaddock Teague. I've seen a lot of Sisay decks run Gaddock Teague kind of as a got you kind of situation, so watch out for that. Just a word of friendly warning, I guess. Speaking of warning, you should always watch out for Karador the Ghost Chieftain, and this guy that just plays Survival of the Fittest. Karador, for 5 green, black, and a white, is a 3/4 legendary Centaur Spirit. Now, he costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard, and during each of your turns, you may cast 1 creature card from your graveyard. Karador, I've said it once and I'll say it every single time, has the best late game of pretty much every single commander. With a very, very important little side note to that, as long as you don't get your graveyard removed from the game. That ability to constantly get a creature from your graveyard into play is unmatched in just how grindy and the amount of value you can build up over multiple turns. It just keeps going and going and going, and you're like, oh, look, he cast Revelark, and it's like, oh, look, he gets to get Revelark back, and oh, look, he gets 3 other creatures back, and Eternal Witness comes back, and XY comes back. He's definitely one of those creatures that you want to be running a removal for. So we got to watch out for this guy. Looks like we have an Austere command coming down to destroy all artifacts and enchantments from the Captain Sisay deck. That's going to get rid of Sylvan Library, and both of the Signets from our Karador deck, eliminating his access to white, which will be very important. Doesn't hurt us at all, which is nice. Gaia's Cradle, one of those legendary lands that Sisay can fetch out. Taps for green to your mana pool for each creature you control. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with Survival of the Fittest, so very nice Zimmed Austere command that way. We're still going to steal his Captain Sisay. Like, this card would be great for us as well. We have some legendary creatures to grab, and I don't want him to have access to the creature anymore. So that's what we're going to sacrifice Falco's Deceiver to. Sylvan Tutor, the next card coming out. Not from Visions, actually. You can search your library for a creature card, reveal it, shuffle your library, and put that card on top of it. It's a sorcery. I'm excited to see what she gets, but kind of interesting because it's Captain Sisay. So unless he gets like Brooding Saurian to respond to our Falco's Deceiver, not Very sure why we went for Sylvan Tutor. Oh, for Ulamog. Yeah, sure. We're stealing Sisay. That's easy enough. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's got 6 mana now. Alright. Can't let that guy resolve. So far, our Karador deck definitely got pretty hosed here by both of his artifacts going to the graveyard. We can't help him. What we're going to try and do, especially since Ulamog was revealed, we are going to target the Captain Sisay deck. Alliance to Arms! Alright. That's an interesting one. So we might be going for a token-themed Karador deck. Alliance to Arms for a single white mana is a Joined Forces spell. Starting with you, each player may pay any amount of mana. And each player puts X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield where X is the total amount of mana paid this way. With Alliance to Arms coming down, we can kind of figure out what this Karador deck is aiming for. We expect to see cards like Pale Lives, cards like Doubling Season, especially with this Aqua Strand Spider. This makes a lot of sense in order to really take advantage of cards like Alliance to Arms. Now, why would you cast this into Gaia's Cradle? I don't know about that one. Alright. So we'll see how this plays out. Hopefully not that badly for us. But one of the main problems with the Joined Forces spells, especially stuff like Alliance to Arms or Collective Voyage, is the fact that your opponents just never pay into it unless it's beneficial for them. Or they're tapped out. So really, you're just paying to give everybody else the same advantage. Now, unless you can take a better advantage of those spells, then it's worth it. In this situation, he didn't really get that much of an advantage out of it. So let's see if it'll pay off for him. I hope it does, because it doesn't look right. It doesn't look very good right now. But speaking of very good right now, you like the transitions? The transitions just keep going. Derogatory Speaker, also known as Soul Ring Elf, is on the battlefield for our black-green deck. We may be seeing a Wrath effect soon from the black-green deck, but we definitely know there isn't going to be one from the Gaia's Cradle. Alright, ooh, Silent Blade Oni. We can't cast it. Darn it! Silent Blade Oni has Ninjutsu for 4 blue-black. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, look at the player's hand. You may cast a non-land card in it without paying that card's mana cost. 1 mana away. Shoot. We would have been able to cast the Ulamog from his hand and then destroy the Gaia's Cradle with it. Right now, we're just going to steal the Captain Sisay, and we're going to draw an extra card, Shadow Mage Infiltrator. Give me this. I want that. I want that badly. We will sacrifice Thalkos Deceiver to gain control of his Captain Sisay. That way he can't use it. We're going to draw an extra card. It's a land. This turn, we're going to play out Darksteel Ingot, and we're not going to cast a Thalco Scout. Because it can't block, there's actually like no reason to cast this card. And since we already have a Fear Creature out, we should be able to get in another hit with Shadow Mage Infiltrator. Yeah, that's why. We're just going to pass here. Also, I am expecting a Wrath effect, which is the reason why we're not going to cast Thalco Scout. I want to be able to cast Thalco Scout if we need to, so we can attach a Silent Blade Oni to it, or fling out a Silent Blade Oni with it. And then we also have Midnight Recovery in hand, which will let us start ciphering a Raised Dead effect. Probably one of the worst ciphers we have in the deck, but still very strong. If we get multiple hits in with it, being able to churn out multiple Thalcos Deceivers a turn or just being able to constantly get cards like that back is very powerful. So hopefully we're able to do something like that. I would love just like a Black Sun Zenith for 1. That'd be perfect. So now he has 4, 5, 6, 7. He has 8 mana. He's 3 mana away from Ulamog. Let's hope he doesn't have Scatter the Seeds in hand. That'd be pretty scary. Alright, so our green-black deck ruminating on what to do next. Ruminating, always a good word for just everything, I guess. I don't know. Quick to put this in the mise en scene, or the current place of this game. This is before Theros is released online. There are a couple of cards from Theros that I do want in this deck. One of them... we got a Grim Tutor coming out here. One of them being Thassa's Bident. It's going to be perfect in this type of build, and I can't wait to just stuff it on in. Our opponent's going to cast Grim Tutor, searching for a card. He's going to lose 3 life to do this. Getting an Acidic Slime, 100% worth it to get rid of this Gaia's Cradle. Goodbye, Gaia's Cradle. Okay, so Ulamog, not as scary as he was before. Dramatic Entrance doesn't actually work with Ulamog, so we should be okay. That being said, if the card he gets is Ulamog off of his Sisay, or off of Sylvan Tutor, I hope his only plan wasn't just Gaia's Cradle. So we'll see what happens next. It's possible that our Alliance of Arms player had communicated with our Sapling or Colfenor player to get the Acidic Slime to destroy Gaia's Cradle. Rafellos. The happiest elf ever. Also known as the most annoying elf ever. For double green, he's a 2/1 legendary elf druid. He taps to add green to your mana pool for each forest you control. Innocuous. When you first see Rafellos, you're like, oh, that seems okay. Cube worthy, maybe even first pick cube, maybe even first pick in cube. Banned in EDH as a commander because of how strong he is. It used to be when Rafellos was legal, you could go turn 2 Rafellos, turn 3 Primeval Titan, turn 4 Ulamog, like really easily and consistently, and that was really, really, really scary. Rafellos is just an absolutely busted commander. Now just finds his way into decks like Captain Sisay. Speaking of, we're able to use Captain Sisay now for our own benefits. I actually don't know of any legendary creatures we have in our deck. I know we have Phage, which is a very good legendary creature, but besides that, we might just be using it to keep it out of our opponent's hands. So we have Phage, we have Rexiel. I like Rexiel. Are you legendary? No. Alright, we have Phage, Rexiel. We have Thada Adel, right? We have Thada Adel. Alright. We have 3 of them. Alright, that's better than usual. So we're going to play this land, and we're going to go for the Silent Blade Oni play. There's two ways this can backfire on us. Number one, by doing the Silent Blade Oni play, we may or may not become an immediate target because we'll be getting a Ulamog out of our opponent's hand. That being said, I don't think there's going to be another opportunity for us to do something that's awesome, so we're going to go for it. We're going to send all of our creatures at the green-white Sisay deck. And the other reason why we're doing it this way is because if he doesn't block one of the soldiers, I'd rather ninjutsu a soldier and draw the extra card off a Shadow Mage Infiltrator. And getting the extra creatures off the battlefield for him will be good for us as well. Alright, so he doesn't block. We're going to ninjutsu in Silent Blade Oni. We're returning a soldier. That'll put a 6/5 into play, tapped and attacking. He can graft if he wants. This is one of the reasons why people don't like graft, by the way, is that since it triggers off every single creature on MTGO, you always have to say yes or no to the trigger, so you can't even like auto-yield it, or even auto-no it. It just always comes up. And he concedes in response, so easily the best Silent Blade Oni we've ever cast. Just undoubtedly. Alright, so first kill for Mirko Vosk, and we'll just keep it running. We'll also keep out the Silent Blade Oni, because I don't know about you, but this guy's just good on his own. We are going to start using the Midnight Recovery plan on the Stalkos Deceiver. I like the idea of being able to mind control a creature every single turn, forever. Oh, that was bad on our part. Shh, darn it. Oh, we should have activated Captain Sisay. Oh, but I guess you can't respond to a player conceding online, so we didn't get the chance to use it because our opponent conceded. So, oh well. If we had, I guess that's not even close to on us. That's on our opponent. Let's see what our Sapling. Ooh, Birthing Pod. That's scary. Let's see what he gets for 6 here. So Birthing Pod, 3 and a green Phyrexian mana, and for 1 and a green Phyrexian mana, you can sacrifice a creature. Search your library for a creature card with CMC equal to 1 plus its sacrifice creature's converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield. It's Grave Titan. Figured as much, actually. Put that card onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. Activate its ability only any time you could cast a sorcery, which is really, really, really good. So Grave Titan enters the battlefield, putting 2 2/2s on the battlefield with it. Yeah, Grave Titan's Grave Titan. We've had him ever since M10, and he's been in the format for that long. Also the type of card we want to take with Stalkos Deceiver. So I can't wait to get back Stalkos Deceiver, Midnight Recovery, and be able to cast it in the same turn. We are going to take 2 damage here. You can't see that, but I was doing a whoop-de-doo motion. We're still at 38. As far as board position, our Karador deck is missing out on white, which can be a definite problem. That's That's about it. He's gonna be able to start hitting him with Spawn Writhes on us. Spawn Writhe, an amazing elemental. Basically, for 2 and a green, it's a trampling 2/2, and whenever it deals damage to a player, you get to put a token that's a copy of Spawn Writhe onto the battlefield. So he's gonna get a basically it has vigilance, and you create another creature with it, which is pretty cool. This is definitely a token based, either a creature token or a +1/+1 counter based Karador deck. Be cool to see what it's able to do. Vampire Nighthawk coming down. That's fine. Ooh, we can't attack him with Shadow Mage Infiltrate on either opponents now. Darn it. Ooh, look, Phage. Alright, so Phage is here. Phage for 3 quad black. Whenever it enters the battlefield, if you didn't cast it from your hand, you lose the game. And when Phage deals combat damage to a creature, destroy that creature, it can't be regenerated. Huh, so what are we doing this turn? I think we're still going to Midnight Recovery the Thalkos Deceiver, because Thalkos Deceiver itself as Shadow. That being said, I want to be able to also cast Thalkos Deceiver this turn, which means that we're probably not going to be able to efficiently use the Cipher ability, unless our opponent starts attacking with Vampire Nighthawk, that is. Man, that guy conceding really kind of boned us a little bit. You're a 3/4 or a 2/4? Alright. I think we're going to keep on the same plan. We're going to bring back this Thalkos Deceiver with Midnight Recovery. We're going to cipher it onto Johnny Finkel, also known as Shadow Mage Infiltrator. The reason why I'm calling him Johnny Finkel, or John Finkel, is because it is John Finkel's invitational card. John Finkel actually made this spell himself. So it's colloquially known as John Finkel. There's actually been a lot of great invitational cards. Other notable ones being Dark Confidant, Meddling Mage, and Snapcaster Mage. All just amazing creatures on their own rights. That being said, we can't attack this turn. We'll leave Silent Blade Oni back as a blocker for Grave Titan and the Spawn Writhes. This Vampire Nighthawk, I hope it attacks. If it attacks, we can get through it with Shadow Mage Infiltrator. In the meantime, we're just going to have to hold back for a little bit and play on the defense. Some cards we would really love to see off the top of the library. Shadow Rift would be great. It's for a single blue mana. We even get to draw a card, but it gives a creature Shadow. Very important. Lets us use stuff like Silent Blade Oni, give it evasion. Also, Dothi Embrace is the same idea. For 2 and a black, it's uncommon enchantment. And for double black, you can give a creature Shadow. Very good evasion card. Actually, very good if you're ever doing a black-based Voltron deck. Can't suggest Dothi Embrace enough. Those would be 2 very good top decks for us. Right now, we're just trying to weather the storm. We've definitely become... Ooh, he's getting a 7. Is this going to be Avenger Zendikar? Let's see what he gets for 7. Oh, it's going to be Runescar Demon. Okay. Ooh. How good is Living End for him? Living End's okay. Not the best ever, but okay. Living End's bad for us. Let's see what he does here. For 8. Craterhoof Behemoths. So are we just dead? Looks like we're dead. Yeah, we're dead. Welcome to Craterhoof Behemoth. Woo! Craterhoof Behemoth, yay! Super fun. So, 30, 13, how much do we have for blocking? 5, 6, 7, 5, 6. We have 10 defense. Oh, so we have 10 defense, which still means we take 33 exactly. So we're just dead on board. Can't really do much about that. Craterhoof Behemoth is a real card made in Magic the Gathering for 5 triple green. It's a mythic rare beast from Avacyn Restored. It's got trample, it's got haste, and when it enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain trample and +X till end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. I actually currently do an article series on Star City Games called Battle of the Blocks, and the idea is to find the best block of Magic in Magic the Gathering for EDH, not just in general, explicitly for EDH. And one of the only faults of Innistrad block, probably one of the best blocks ever made, is Craterhoof Behemoth. And actually, like Avacyn Restored, if you just stop Innistrad block at Innistrad and Dark Ascension and just forget about Avacyn Restored, just trust me, your life is so much better. Alright, so this is 13. We can't even kill it. Can we kill anything? We can't kill anything, so there's just no reason to block. Right? 10, 20, 30. We have 43 coming at us. 42. 39, 34. Yep, we're exactly dead on board. So we're gonna just be dead. Would it have changed if we had played Phage this turn? No, it definitely wouldn't have. Well, we had to block an extra 4, right? So then 9, 10. I mean, then he just sends an extra dude at us. So yeah, we're still dead. Good game in chat. We'll be extra dead. We've no reason to block. And we'll take our Craterhoof Behemoth damage to the face, and we'll keep grinding with Mirko Vosk. I know this deck can win. We got our opponent to concede by attacking with Silent Blade only, so that's a step in the right direction. That being said, we are dead. We definitely died during that game, as you saw. This channel is reserved for EDH games. We play EDH, we put EDH up. If you do like these videos, please let me know. If you have some constructive criticism, if you want music in the background, if you want to see specific generals and how they're played, please ask. I can accommodate pretty much every general at this point. If you have a favorite deck, or if you have a deck you want to share, feel free to put it in the comments. If you have any comments about the game, feel free to put them in the comments. That being said, I also stream EDH on twitch.tv/mtgradio. You can find live EDH content there. This will not be our last game with Mirko Vosk. We will triumph through and find a way to win with this beautiful, beautiful deck. I really do like it a lot. It's definitely my favorite deck I'm playing with right now. I just love the interaction of Shadow and Cypher so much that I can't stop playing it. So you're going to basically see a game until we win with Mirko Vosk. I know our last game, we got hosed by, well, we didn't get hosed. We also lost to a Maelstrom Wanderer deck that got assisted by a group hug deck. So this time, we took our losses like a champ to Craterhoof Behemoth, and we're going to soldier on. So thank you so much for watching. Feel free to stop by again. Always great to have you. And go out, play some Magic, and thanks for tuning in.